Hey everyone, welcome back. So I just got done doing a ton of research on Mawson, the digital assets company. It took me about 6 to 7 hours to go through all the data. They have a weird way of reporting things where they report one thing and then provide a different number for something. So here's what we're dealing about right now. So this is Mawson, obviously. Their stock price is at $12.92 right now. Market cap is at $891 million. So let me give you guys an example of what I had to deal with to try to get these numbers as close to what I think is accurate as possible. This is not 100% accurate. I'm pretty sure it's not going to be 100% accurate because I'm having a hard time making some of the numbers work here. But here's what I was dealing with, and this is just the latest example of it. So on August 9th, they reported with Form 8K to the SEC that they are purchasing some miners, 15,000 miners. So on August 9th, 2021, Mawson Infrastructure Group, Mawson Australia, the Australian subsidiary of Mawson Infrastructure Group, Inc., executed a contract with Cannon Convey Company, Cannon, to purchase 15,000 ASIC Bitcoin miners. Proposed schedule of shipments is as follows. So we have 1,000, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, and 4,000. Goes further on here, then it goes to how much they're paying for it. So basically we know what they're supposed to be mining, more or less. But it looks like here, if you take 5,040 divided by 56, you get basically 90 terahash miners. But here they're also reporting that some of these miners might be 83 terahash, 85, 87, 90. Some might be 75, 78, 81. And that they will pay, obviously, based on the terahash that they get. But here's the fun part about it. Down in the press release, let me scroll down here. And the nice press release, they go on to say, Mawson Infrastructure Group Inc. announces purchase of additional 17,352. How the heck did they get 17,352 from above being 15,000? I just can't figure out in my wildest dreams how they got that amount from 15,000 being reported to the SEC. How the SEC did not catch this either, or did they just make a blatant mistake on it, or which number is correct? So based on the information that I have, I'm trying to figure out which is which. Do they actually have the 17,352 or do they have the 15,000? And it's just like kept going back and forth between all these different press releases, and that's why it took me like 6, 7 hours to try to figure this stuff out. So let's get into the numbers here. So just so you guys know what I'm dealing with here. Let's take a look at the numbers here for them, and then I'll try to explain as best I can. If you guys have any questions, obviously let me know in the comments down below. I'll try to answer them as best I can. So here's what we got. So they reported on March 1st that they basically bought out a company that had basically 200 petahash of mining, which is these two right here. Then they bought some micro BTs, 500 of those. Those are, I'm calculating 88,000 terahash for those miners. And then they ordered 11,760 miners here on, I forgot to put the date down here. But it was right after that they ordered the 11,760 miners, and those were going to be in trenches of like 980 over 12 months. So we got them here set up for the 12 months. And originally they were reporting that they were going to be like 88 terahash, but later on they reported they were going to be higher, that they're going to be making better hash rate on them. So I jumped it all up to try to, as best as I can, get it to what they're reporting. And these were all these here. So all of these. And I've updated this a little bit as the reports have been coming out throughout the year. So then they bought 1,000 of these Avalon A1166s, sold 200 of them. So we got 800 of those that are mining. And then July they reported 250 miners of the Antminers S19J Pros. Those were 110 terahash. So we got them at 27 petahash. And then on August 9th, they reported the 15,000, or is it the 17,352, whatever they had reported. So I kept it at 15,000 as what they reported to the SEC here. And then later on, they reported also on October 20th that they were buying 2,000 of the micro BTs M30s and 2,000 of the A1166 and 1246. I'm guessing here they didn't provide actually how much they're going to be mining, so I put down 90,000 terahash. If you guys know anything better than that, let me know. And then 85,000 for the Avalons here. They reported that it's going to be roughly an increase of exahash, which would be 350 exahash, or 350 petahash, sorry. So based on that information, I was able to calculate what they basically made for Q1. So Q1, they reported they made 5.1 million. So based on that, with those miners here installed, we got to that 5.1 million. And it looks like some of those might have been coming offline here towards the end of the quarter. And then for Q2, I have them mining with these miners here and these over here. These were received partially through July. So I got them only mining for part of July and part of August. Or sorry, part of May and June. And then, so those were those. So here's the information I got from them in, this was, when was this? End of June, June 30th. So total miners online, they reported 4,649. So that would correspond with these miners here. So the 800 here, 826, 500, and that gets me to 4,649 miners at the end of the month. So that's why we have them mining here. And then these, I'm guessing that those were being turned off towards the end of the month. That's the only way I could get to the amount that they actually made, which they reported 5.66 million in revenue from mining. So we're right there with it based on this information. And I'm guessing that they just probably were turning those off towards the end of the month. They were maybe mining for a couple of days, or not mining for a couple of days towards the end of the month of June. The other part was that they had 10,934 miners that are being shipped, basically on order or being shipped. So that represents these miners here. That was exactly 10,934, so we got that correct. And then what else was there? The only thing that I can't figure out for the life of me is the petahash. So they reported 476 petahash with the 7,398, the 2,749 that are in storage, and then the 4,649 that are mining. So the 7,398 represents these miners here. So it's these guys along with all of these should be 7,398, so that's accurate. But if I do the petahash on these, I come up a little bit short. I come up with 386 petahash instead of the 476. So I don't know where they're getting the extra 100 petahash from that, unless the numbers here aren't correct. But I even give them the benefit of the doubt having these at higher numbers here at 98. And this is what they reported on the Avalon's A16s, that they're going to be 77, at least that's what they reported. And then these miners were the 200 petahash that they initially purchased. Okay, so based on all this information, we're going into obviously Q3 and Q4. I'm guessing since they reported they're going to have 1,426 were being shipped, and to this quarter here, that would represent roughly these guys here, possibly not so much this one here. That was going to be, how much was it going to be? 1,426. I'm at 2,000, so 600 of these are going to be obviously mining less. And then obviously these here might be also getting shipped in for the Q3 quarter, which they reported that they are supposed to be coming in August and September. I just don't know if those will actually get here. So those are these over here. So I'm being a little bit conservative on here because they're not providing any like monthly updates or anything like that. So it's really hard to figure out what they actually have, what they're actually mining. They're not doing a really good job as far as updates. The only thing I read was that they were at the end of August at 400 petahash. So at 400 petahash, if we look at it here, they would be, I'm guessing that these miners are going to be turned off. So I'm just going by here. So at 400 petahash, that would give us roughly these miners here in operation at the end of August. So that's kind of what I'm going by here. And based on that information, this is what I came up with, that they're going to be possibly making 10.3 million roughly gross revenue. And then, the other thing I wanted to point out to you guys while I'm thinking about it as well. So Q1, they reported 5.1 million from mining operations, and operating and maintenance or operating expenses or cost of goods, I guess, for those was 2.3 million. And then in Q2, they made 5.6 million for mining Bitcoin, and they reported 294,000 Seems a little weird, strange to me that they would have such a huge improvement in just one quarter. So I don't know if the numbers are off or not. But going from almost half, going 46% cost of goods to 5% cost of goods, is kind of weird to me. So basically, they come out to be, what is that, 54% net profit on mining, and then this was 95% net profit. So a little strange, unless I'm doing my math wrong here. Correct me if I'm wrong, you guys. Okay, so then we got them at 10.3, and then they obviously are saying that they are installing these miners here in Q4. So we got them here. I don't know when they're going to install them, so I got them at 1 month only running. We did also find out that these are going to be in July sometime. So July, end of August. We don't know when they're going to be in, but I'm guessing that they're going to be in probably the last 3 months of the quarter for the year. And then we got these guys obviously still mining. And then we added a couple here for these. So I put them at, I think this is over generous, I think, at 30.9 million right now. I just don't know if those are going to be in time. I should probably, reduce some of these a little bit more because I just don't know. No communication from the company as far as what they're mining monthly. They are selling all their Bitcoins as far as I can tell. They're not hodling it. They reported, let me see here. If I got it written down here, I think I wrote it down here. Yep. So I can't remember when they reported this, but they reported this in one of the press releases that they mined 127 Bitcoin. I think it might have been even in their Q2 report, and that they sold it all. So they currently don't have any Bitcoins that they're holding. And then obviously we'll have to see what their operating expenses are for Q3 and Q4. So we're still waiting on those to come out for the results on that. But yeah, I mean, this was a tough one. Trying to crack this nut was tough. Information all over the place, not enough information, not very transparent, unfortunately. So it makes it very difficult to try and gauge where they might be. Hoping that they improve with this as far as, giving their investors more information as far as what they're mining, what their operations are like month to month. So that way people can see that they're actually doing a good job progressing or not. Especially since their business is dependent on the miners that they get in, I think it's only fair that they would provide that kind of information. So you guys that are invested in them, you need to put a little squeeze on them to provide this kind of information for you guys. Okay. So let me see here. What else do we have here? All right, so based on that information, we basically got them at possibly making 69 million for the year. Let me see if we can zoom this in for you guys because I was trying to fit in a lot of information in here. Okay, there we go. So we got them at 69 million roughly as an estimate based on that. Stock price is at 12.92 right now. So total gross, 69, that's shares outstanding. Sorry, it's late. I've been doing a lot of numbers. Total estimated gross revenue is 52 million that we're estimating for them. Estimated EPS is 75 cents. They have a market cap, obviously, of 891 million. So if we go into my, kind of price estimates of where the price of the stock should be, depending on a couple factors. One is obviously what their actual spending to operate is, and just basically how much it costs for everything else. We don't know that right now. I mean, the numbers are just weird. So I'm going, 50% discount from gross using a price to earnings multiple of 20. That would put the stock at currently 754. It's at 12.92. So it looks to me like it's either fairly valued if we go by even the 75% net profit margin with the price to earnings 20 multiple. We don't have a current price to earnings multiple on it from Microsoft, as they're not reporting it for some reason. So we would be at 1131. Obviously, if Bitcoin goes up to 100,000, we're looking at a stock price of 10 at the 50%, 11 at the 75% net income. And then if Bitcoin goes up to 150,000, we're looking at 1358 for 50% net profit, and 75% of profit would be at 2037. And if Bitcoin goes up to 200,000, you're looking at 1709 for 50% net profit, and 75% net profit would be 2564. So as long as they have pretty good profit margins, I don't see why this stock couldn't get to this number here. So it would only represent what, basically 100% increase in value if Bitcoin goes up to 200,000. And then that's because obviously the first 3 quarters, well, the third quarter we don't know yet because they haven't provided the information yet. But we're just guessing it's going to be 10.3 million roughly. We'll see how close we are to that. But the first 3 are basically static. Those don't change. The only thing that changes here is obviously what Bitcoin comes in at Q4. That will change how much they are actually making. So if Bitcoin obviously goes up to 100,000, it's going to change how much they're going to be making here for the Q3, which is obviously going to add to the total for the year, which is going to signify what they could get as far as a stock price, I think. But yeah, that's it. I wish I had some more information for you guys on them, but yeah, this wasn't a tough one. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll be making my miners versus Bitcoin comparison later on tomorrow once we have the Bitcoin price for the end of the week, which is I'm using always the Friday night close on it. And then we'll get all the miners inputted into it, and we'll take a look to see which miners did better than Bitcoin or worse than Bitcoin for the week. Bitcoin has obviously had a pretty wild ride. We reached 69,000, and we're back down to 63,000. So we'll see where we end up. All right, guys, I think that's it. That's all I got for you guys today. Have a great day. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you have any questions, comments, if there's any mistakes that I made. Let me know, obviously. A lot of information here. All right, thanks, guys. Have a great day. See you in the next one. Until then,